Hello, everybody. Welcome to KXAN Live. This is our Sports Thursday edition. I know we didn't have one last week, but we're going to try to keep this going through high school football, too, once we get our KBVO Game of the Week here going. So on this Thursday, we have a different guest, a special guest, actually. He's very special. He's KXAN, look out, he's KXAN Sports Weekend Sports Anchor and reporter Jonathan Thomas. Couple cool little newsy things today, Jonathan, that I want to talk about. One of them being, let's see if I can grab this here real quick. Quinn Ewers, the third-year quarterback for the Texas Longhorns, is on the cover of the new EA College Football video game, which has been released in, 11 years?
Yep, been since the
last one they did was NCAA 14.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great day for that Venn diagram of gamers and college football fans. There's a big overlap there.
Absolutely. And may I just jump in and say, too, that I was so wrong about this. I thought when the rumors that the game was coming back, when those rumors started, I thought that it was just, it wasn't going to lead to anything. I thought it was a bunch of talk. I didn't know if, especially with everything going on with NIL and everything like that, I didn't know if players would, want to be involved if they weren't going to be compensated the way that they wanted to be compensated. I didn't know if the schools were gonna, be willing to license this kind of thing. Like, I just didn't know how it was all going to work in this new landscape of college football. But I was dead wrong. So I'm excited. To see it.
And that was the whole reason why they stopped making the game after 2014. It was because of all the pending lawsuits and litigation about the players' names, image, likeness, and now everyone knows that it's just NIL right now, and all those rules are in place, and players are getting paid, and in my opinion, rightfully so.
Yes,
they're starting to make money off of their faces through different sorts of advertising, stuff like that, and they've been doing that they haven't been able to make money off that for the longest time, but thankfully people have come to their senses and are getting these kids some money for the trouble.
Right.
Now, there's an opt-in system for the game. Any player who wants to be part of the game gets $600 plus a free copy of the game, which comes out July 19th officially. You can pre-order it now through your game console store. For me, it's PlayStation. I know there's a bunch of Xbox fans out there.
I'm an Xbox guy.
Yeah, Xbox guy right there. So that's available for pre-order. Both their standard and deluxe editions have Quinn Ewers on the cover. You can see him right there with Colorado's Travis Hunter, the two-way star for the Buffaloes, and Michigan running back Donovan Edwards. And it's interesting, Michigan and Texas face off week 2 of the season up in Ann Arbor, so that's going to be a pretty fun matchup, while Travis Hunter is just kind of going to be hanging out in Boulder with Coach Prime and that crew, probably going like 4-7, something like that.
Hey,
not getting to a bowl game. What do you think?
You said that. You said that. I don't. So what I will say though is Travis Hunter, who definitely had an amazing season last year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely,
two-way star, right? The thing is, his game is built for a video game.
Totally.
I mean, and so he's going to be absolutely disgusting in this game. You know how it used to be back in the day, Billy, with Madden, and I immediately go to Madden 04, and I know a lot of people out there are going to know exactly where I'm going.
Yeah, I do.
I don't know how things worked with you and your friends, but with us, you couldn't play with the Falcons.
Oh, no,
because it wasn't fair.
It
wasn't fair. Michael Vick, who was on the cover of Madden 2004, was insane. Him and Bo Jackson and Tecmo Bowl, the two greatest video games athletes
absolutely
in video game history. It's crazy how dominant they were, and Travis Hunter is built for that. Like to have, I'm not saying he's that kind of guy yet, but I mean his game, the way he plays he can be a shutdown corner. He interceptions. I mean, it's gonna be. I'm not gonna want to throw to his side of the field if I'm playing, if I'm picking a school in the Big 12 next year, like my alma mater, I would not throw his way at all with whoever ASU's quarterback is. I have no idea.
I wouldn't even pick them to begin with, Jonathan. Let's be honest.
No, nor should you.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, no, this has been a long time coming. Like I actually still have my copy of NCAA 14 on my old Xbox 360. I gotta dust that off and fire it up again.
I've been enjoying the memes going around of, people, taking videos. Like I saw a video of, Nick Saban in a recruit's, living room a few years ago doing the electric slide. And, it's like me, when I'm trying to recruit, a 4-star in Georgia, in NCAA, in
you and Nick
2025.
Saban have so much in common on the recruiting trail.
Hey, everyone can have, that's the beauty of this game. Everyone can have a lot in common with Nick Saban on the recruiting trail. I know back in my day, I took Cincinnati to heights they never knew existed. Back in NCAA 08. Winning in South Bend on national television is just...
That's funny you go Cincinnati and say New Heights with the Travis and Jason Kelsey podcast, New Heights. They went to Cincinnati. I see what you did there.
I meant to do that.
I see what you did there.
I totally meant to do that.
You Swifty, you.
Hey, now
that's Swifty behavior.
Much love to Taylor Swift and the Swifties out there. I don't want them on me, on my case. No, thank you.
Doesn't take much.
No, it does not.
My wife's on my case all the time. Anyway, 2 other Longhorns have been on the cover of this game in its existence. It started in 1993 as, I believe, like Bill Walsh football, or Bill Walsh was on the cover anyway. I think Bill Walsh might have been a different game, but Bill Walsh, the old college football coach at Stanford, he was on it. Ricky Williams was on the 99 version, and then Brian Arakpo was on the PlayStation 2 cover of the 2009 version, I believe.
Okay.
So those are the 2 Longhorns that have been on the cover of this game. I don't know. It's really cool. I mean, especially since a lot of us grew up playing this game. I on the, I think it was the 07 cover. I don't know. It might have been, probably like 07. Jared Zabransky, the quarterback of Boise State.
Yes.
You're
right.
Him and I go way back.
We've talked about it.
We played American Legion baseball together over in Eastern Oregon. So that was pretty cool to see, like, somebody like actually knew on like a video game cover. That was pretty wild.
Yeah, and I mean, you get bragging rights for life. You make a video game cover, as an athlete. I mean, that's and so that now lends me to this question, Billy. Now I was talking about how dominant Travis Hunter will be in this game now that he's on the cover. How dominant will Quinn Ewers be? Is he going to be one of those guys where you're going to have to say, well, you can't pick Texas?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I think you still can. I think any team is fair game in this one. Like, I don't think you've got that sort of... You don't
think there'll be a discrepancy in the rating? Because I'm sure that's going to be discussed incessantly on these teams' facilities.
Sure.
Like, who's higher, who's...
Everybody's going to want to know what the rating is.
It's going to be a big thing. And that might be good for some motivation, like in some of the dog days of training camp, like you want to prove, like, this guy, my speed is 75 and his speed is 80. Mm-hmm. I'm going to prove to him that I'm faster than him today.
Hey, whatever motivates the kids these days, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Whatever motivates them.
They're 18 to 24-year-olds these days. So, you never know what motivates them.
Seriously, I mentioned that players could opt in. They could also opt out, like Texas backup quarterback Arch Manning did. Yeah. So he's not going to be in the game. That pun's intended, EA Sports. It's in the game. You get it.
Yes.
Everyone here gets it. So Texas is just going to have some random computer-generated backup.
That will be funny.
With some name of probably one of the programmers or something.
It's 100%, though. There's going to be so many creative player Arch Manning. I mean, people are going to do it anyway. That's the thing that's so funny about that. But I get it. I mean, I get it. If Arch Manning doesn't want to be in the game, that's fine. Right. That's his right. But he's going to be in the game. It's just he just isn't going to sign off on it. But he will be in the game. People will definitely, and he'll be probably better than he is in real life. People are going to probably boost his skill set up, probably unrealistically.
Yeah. Yeah, especially after that spring game performance. People were already hooping and hollering for him to start and
exactly.
settle down.
Well, they can start him as much as they want on NCAA football 2025.
That's true. Like he's in his second year. I mean, I heard Steve Sarkisian on a different radio show talking about how insane the expectations are with Manning, and like he's just in year 2. Like they're developing him. Like people are saying, oh man, it's really cool that Arch is hanging around. That he hasn't gone in the portal and he's not trying to find another place to play. He's not even 20 years old. Like he's still learning how to be a college quarterback. Like just let the man learn. And if Quinn decides to go to the next level after this season, then it's going to be Arch's turn. So
yeah, absolutely.
People are just crazy, Jonathan.
I
that's
agree.
all.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. So yeah, EA Sports College Football 25 available July 19th. You can pre-order it now. I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. I already told my wife, so when she looks at the bank statement, that's what that is. That's what happens when you get married, folks. Anyway, moving on.
A lot of people are in your position, too, by the way.
Moving on. Jalin Flores, the Texas shortstop, he has been named a semifinalist for the Dick Howser Trophy. That is the Player of the Year trophy given out by the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association. And it's called the semifinalist list, but there are 68 players on it. Yep. He's the only Longhorn on it, which we'll get to a discussion about that in a second. Tied for the team lead, home runs with 17. He's hitting about 340. He's having a great season. Absolutely,
yes.
They are going to get going Thursday against Kansas in their final Big 12 series before the tournament starts. It's going to get a little bit later start because of rain here in the Austin area. They're going to start at 7 on Thursday, and then hopefully storms get out of the way and they're able to play Friday, Saturday before next Tuesday when the Big 12 tournament starts, and Texas could be anywhere between a 2 seed or a 5 seed, depending on how they do against the Jayhawks this weekend. And if Houston can somehow take a game off Oklahoma State, a game or two off Oklahoma State in their final series. Oklahoma's already won the Big 12 regular season championship. They'll be the number 1 seed to the Big 12 conference tournament, so they're going to have a bit of an advantage. If Texas can get into that number 2 spot, they will also have an advantage, and they won't have to play on Tuesday, so they could save a day worth of pitching, which is really, in baseball, the primo spot to be in.
Absolutely. And it's definitely something that David Pierce is really hoping for, I'm sure. Yeah. Because, the more rest for the pitchers he's got, the better. Because it's kind of been up and down.
To put it lightly, the pitching staff has been up and down this season.
To say the least. So, I'm sure any little extra time they get to rest and, he can formulate things the way he wants, it will help tremendously.
Yes, now I was talking about a debate of sorts about this. This isn't taking anything away from Jalin. He's had a terrific season. He's a terrific ball player. But if you look at statistics and you look at the 68 players that the baseball writers put on their semifinalist list, I did the work for you here, Jonathan.
Yes, thank you.
Why not Max Belyeu?
Yeah.
Like if we're putting Flores up there. Okay, they're slash lines next to each other. Their homers and RBIs almost identical. Belyeu has a better on-base percentage by 40 points, a better slug by about 50. Almost the same batting average. Flores does have more hits, more doubles. Belyeu striking out less, walking more in less at-bats. Mm-hmm. They're both having a great season. They're tied for the conference lead in home runs with 17 and also the team lead. And the story of Max Belyeu has been awesome. I mean, because last season, he just wasn't very good. He didn't get a lot of opportunities, but when he got those opportunities, he just wasn't very good. And for a young guy, it's kind of it might be a little unfair, but this season, he has been tremendous.
Yeah. Well, first of all, just talking about the both of them, the fact that they're both sophomores and they're putting up numbers like that, I mean, that's David Pierce, and throw in another name, not saying he should be nominated for the Howser, he should be a semifinalist for the Howser, but Jared Thomas as well,
Sure.
Have a really solid, really great year, especially lately. He's a sophomore, but the fact that those two specifically are sophomores putting up those numbers, and one of them being put as a semifinalist on, for the Howser Trophy is really incredible, and that's something that David Pierce certainly can be excited about if he can keep these guys around for at least one more year, putting up numbers like that. But I agree with you. I think that, I don't see the problem with, putting in Max Belyeu as well. I mean, there's 68 candidates, 48 schools. So you can have the same guy, or the same team have two guys on this
Texas A&M has 4.
And Texas A&M has 4. Thank you. Exactly. Yeah, I saw that. I looked that up earlier. And so it's like, I don't understand why Belyeu isn't in the mix here for this award. I mean, I just genuinely would love to get like an explanation. I don't think it's anything worth pounding a table over, but it would be nice to just hear the thought process from, I believe it's the National College Baseball Writers Association who does this, who puts this together. Yeah. I'd love to hear why is Flores in their minds, why does he stand out, so much above Max Belyeu? Yeah.
And I mean, in the end, your team success is gonna create that sort of like individual success, right? So like being 32-20, maybe, I don't know. The Texas Longhorns, their baseball team, they've had a weird year.
Yes.
Like with all of their great things they've done, they've won 5 consecutive Big 12 series. They've only lost 1 Big 12 series to BYU, which is absolutely just mind-boggling, like how that happened. BYU's quite literally the worst team in the league. But they've lost those midweek games to powerhouse schools like Texas A&M Corpus Christi and UT Rio Grande Valley, both with RPIs in the 200s. That's not a typo.
Not good.
They're in the 200s. But what they've been doing the past 3 weeks or so, beating ranked teams in series, is improving that RPI. They're up in the mid-40s now. They should be a comfortable number 2 seed in a regional moving forward. So, I mean, obviously there's still work to be done because you can still win the Big 12 tournament, and I mean, you're not going to be a top 16 seed if you win that tournament just because of the body of work that has happened before those games. But they could get a better 2 seed in a region where perhaps they don't have to travel as far, or maybe they'll get a better draw somehow.
For sure. No, absolutely. All good points you make. And I'll just wrap up my little portion here with this. I think we need to do an investigation, look into who's actually in the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association of America, because I think there's one person for sure who wouldn't put Max Belyeu on the list, and that is my colleague Noah Gross. He has a thing against left-handers, and Max Belyeu is a lefty. He bats left, all that. And I think Noah Gross has a personal vendetta. So either he knows someone who's a part of the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association of America, and he told that person or a group of people, hey, just make sure you just take Jalin Flores. I've seen the numbers. Just pick Flores. He's right. He's a righty.
Noah's out here on his days off just catching strays, and he doesn't even know it. He can't defend himself.
It's okay.
He's probably watching the Cleveland.
He can't because it's the truth. What would he defend?
He's watching the Cleveland Guardian somewhere, not knowing that his buddy Jonathan Thomas is going after him.
Billy, what I'm saying is as true as his name.
Anyway, to wrap up this baseball segment on something that's factual, Texas is number 10 in the country with home runs, 103, tied with the powerhouse South Carolina Upstate, which I know all of you know where that is. I have no idea. South Carolina is somewhere upstate, I guess.
Upstate, yes.
Yeah,
safe to say.
That's all you're going to get from me. As far as like personal, statistics, I believe Jared Thomas is in the top 30 in hits. Yeah, he's tied for 29th, 78 hits. And that puts That puts Flores 72, so he's just outside the top 50 there in the NCAA Division I rankings. I mean, you can't go a segment talking about NCAA stats without acknowledging what Georgia's Charlie Condon is doing. Sophomores hits 34 home runs. He broke Jack Caglioni's record of 33 homers in the BB Core era baseball bats, and then Jack broke Ivan Melendez's record of 32 that he hit in 2022. So it just seems like each year there's a new guy who emerges as someone who just absolutely rakes and hits the ball 500 feet every time they swing. Charlie Condon's one of those guys. 34 home runs. He's still got time to add to that. Batting average, he leads the nation in batting average too with 454. That is insane. For a power guy to hit for average like that, that's incredible.
Well, I would imagine he'll be getting walked. I don't know how Georgia is as a team, but I imagine he'll be getting walked a lot in the postseason.
I would assume so. Gotta find some line of protection for him, Georgia head coach, whoever you are.
Yes.
You're not Kirby Smart. He's a football guy.
Right. And we're in Austin, so we don't have to know who
That's
you
true.
are.
Yeah.
Not yet, at least. Not unless you play in Texas.
Yeah, that'll be coming next year.
There you go.
That'll be coming next year.
Well, I'll learn who everyone is in the offseason.
SEC. That's coming.
Yes.
And I didn't want to let you get away without being able to talk some NBA playoffs. Thursday night here, 7:30 p.m., the Nuggets have a chance to end it against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jonathan, do the defending NBA champions dispatch the Timberwolves and move on?
Yes, I say they win tonight, Thursday night, and they are moving on. And now, I am definitely in the middle on who is going to win between Dallas and Oklahoma City. I thought Oklahoma City would win it in 6. Dallas is in the position to do that right now, but I truly could see it going either way. I could see Dallas winning Game 6 and then meeting up with Denver in the conference finals. I could see Dallas losing Game 6 and winning Game 7 and meeting up with Denver in the conference finals. Or I could see Oklahoma City winning Game 6 and then going back home and winning Game 7 because Dallas just ran out of gas. All of those scenarios I think are extremely realistic, but I definitely think Denver, they're going to put the nail in the coffin of Minnesota. I think Minnesota, obviously they came out the first 2 games, incredible, just amazing performances all around. But I really think the champs have now kind of put them underneath them now and said, okay, well, this is where we're at. We're on this level. You guys still have to you guys are down here. You still got to do a lot of work to get up here with us.
Yeah. I'm with you there. Moving to Dallas and Oklahoma City. Dallas wins Game 5, 104-92 on Wednesday night, I believe.
Yes.
The days just run together in the news business.
It's okay.
Luka Doncic, triple-double with 30 points. 31 points, 11 assists, 10 rebounds. It's not fair to expect that out of anybody, but when you're Luka Doncic, you almost expect a triple-double every game in the playoffs just because he's got to be the guy for Dallas to do that. Kyrie Irving, off night for him, 12 points. Derek Lively gets a double-double. P.J. Washington, randomly, gets a double-double, 10 and 10.
He has been balling. He has been balling this series. He's been balling, and he's been not just scoring, he's been getting rebounds. He's been playing good defense. He's really stepped up, and they need him to continue to do so because, again, can't just be about Luka and Kyrie because they're running out of gas, especially Luka.
Oh yeah, it's the dog days, man. These 7-game series all going deep. Like people are taxed, even professional athletes who have that kind of conditioning.
Yes.
Luka's kind of the walking wounded out there.
Right.
I don't think there's a body part on him that is 100%.
Once you get up to this
maybe
point,
his teeth. I don't know. Maybe he catches an elbow tomorrow, and maybe he gets a tooth knocked out. I don't know.
If you're going deep in the playoffs, you're playing 100 games.
Yeah.
That's a lot of games.
That's a lot of basketball. That is a lot of basketball. And on that just sage piece of knowledge, we'll end it there. This has been Sports Thursday with KXAN Sports for Jonathan Thomas. I almost said Jonathan Wallace. That's Roger Wallace.
That'd have been something.
I was close.
We would have got a kick out of that. You'd have been hearing about that one for a long time.
I know. For Jonathan Thomas, I'm Billy Gates. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you again very soon.